Low quality fans of a high quality playoff team, whomever your playoff team may be. Welcome to the playoff preview series. We're going to chat about a couple of matchups going into a loaded round one, a really exciting, fun round one, and coming from a diehard Coyotes fan now, I'm just really glad my team's not in it because I get to watch it and not be stressed. Yes, I am coping very hard, but that is a little silver lining there, that I just get to watch playoff hockey and enjoy it. I'm going to stress myself out anyway, because there's about a half dozen teams that I would die if I saw win another cup, so we'll see how that goes. Hey, remember to join the bracket challenge listed below. The winner is going to win a jersey. I've decided, screw it, we're going to do it again this year. I'm just going to make that person make their decision right away, and of course, you can't get like a Made in Canada on ice spec. I can't afford that, but you can get a free jersey. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's talk about a couple general rules of the way I'm doing these previews. First of all, I focus far more on the 3 or so months leading up to the season. Most of the data I'll use will be focused on that. I think it gives a better snapshot of where a team is in most cases. Of course, we will talk about various leadings ups to the playoffs throughout. The advanced analytics are all from naturalstattrick.com unless I say otherwise. Home ice means next to nothing outside of extreme cases like the Canes, for instance, for me. And then predictions at the end are not a reflection of team performance. I know that sounds ridiculous. I'll kind of explain more, but I have more fun predicting from my gut than focusing on the math, and every year I focus on the math, and every year I do terrible with the brackets anyway. So at the end, when I do my predictions for each of these, they are more focused on vibes, but I'll basically explain that anyway. We don't have to do it all right here, but just some basic understanding of where I'm at and what I'm looking at here. Let's talk about this Jets versus Blues matchup. I have the names backwards because the Jets have a home ice advantage. As many of you know, they were the best team in the West this year. The Blues went 1-2-1 against the Jets this season, but are they favored? I know they're not literally favored from a gambling standpoint. Should they be favored? Like, this is a really weird series. Now, look, I know they shouldn't be favored. This is a 1-8 matchup. Like, why would they be? But things are really weird right now. This might be one of the most frustrating 1-8 matchups from the one seeds perspective in a very, very long time. I think everyone knows how the Blues got here, right? 21, 5-4 over the last 30 for an astounding 46 standings points, rocketing up from the basement of the league to the second wild card of a loaded West. In the East, they would have comfortably made it, but the Blues had to play to the very end, even though they had a little stumble at the very end there. But they did have to play to the very end to finally shut the door on the surging Flames. Through that stretch of 30 games, they were 4th in goals for, 4th in goals allowed, 5th in power play percentage, and 5th in penalty kill percentage. Those rankings are league-wide. The coaching change, the refreshed vibe in the room, the commitment to playing a real system, the Blues are back, and they're following the exact blueprint they followed in the last Cup run. I mean, it's pretty close. Now, of course, the Blues in 2019 surged all the way into an actual divisional spot, not the wild card. But either way, it's just an astounding recovery this season, just like 6 years ago. God, that's 6 years ago now? My goodness, that doesn't make me feel good about anything. The analytics are pretty crazy here for them, the advanced analytics from Natural Stat Trick, as I mentioned earlier. At 5-on-5 since February 1st, the Blues have outscored their opponents by 30. A 62% goals for clip against a 50.3% expected goals for percentage. Now, goals for percentage, of course, is the amount of goals that your team scores versus the amount of goals that you let up. 50.3. So a 62% goal share for them. For every 100 scored, they scored 62 of them in real life. But their advanced analytics, their underlying numbers, said at 5-on-5 they should be basically breaking even. Their 12% shooting percentage at 5-on-5 leads the league through that time frame, and their team save percentage sits top 10. Sounds like a lot of luck. And I'm not, like, if you're a Blues fan, you're sitting there like, oh, screw you. No. It sounds like a lot of luck. And there should probably be a healthy dose of concern about that for Blues fans. But hey, you also went nuclear and won a cup off of it. If you sustain nuclear, you win a cup. We talk about this every year. The hottest teams at this time of year, doesn't matter where they slot in the actual standings. As long as they made the playoffs and they're hot and they can maintain that, boom, Cup. Now, of course, the end of the season, they tailed off a little bit. Just a little bit, but still. Those numbers are astounding. What's even crazier is they rank near the bottom of the league in high danger chances created, but are second in high danger shooting percentage, behind Boston, again during that time frame. Boston had a very different result through those final games, as you might know. Again, so this is all over the past 10 weeks, but if they sustain this level of shooting through the playoffs, I just don't know how they don't win a cup. If you're going to shoot 12%, if you're going to capitalize on basically every high danger chance you create, it's just really hard to maintain that. The Jets, on the other side, well, I was very wrong about this Jets team. I thought this was the year they'd crumble. And from day one, they made me look like an absolute fool, which people who watch this channel tend to really like, and I respect that. President's Trophy, likely another Vezina for Hellebuyck, the league's best defense and best power play, juggernaut. This team's a juggernaut. But since February 1st, stats are a little different. Again, they still rank first in goals allowed, meaning they allow the least, but 21st in goals scored. The offense took a huge hit when the best power play in the league became the 23rd best power play in the league. They were the best power play in the league up until February 1st, or somewhere around there. And then, since then, they have ranked 23rd. The injuries to Ehlers and Velarde have played a huge role in that. They were both a huge part of that power play success. Neither is expected to be back and fully healthy for Game 1. Ehlers might not be in the series at all. Velarde is expected to be back at some point, maybe for Game 1, but not healthy. I doubt he's back for Game 1. There's a lot of reports saying it's going to take a couple games. The penalty kill still ranks in the top 10 through that time frame, but that's not going to do enough if the offense isn't there against a team that's more confident than ever in their defensive system and goaltender in Binnington. The good news here is the Jets are still outscoring their opponents at a healthy clip at 5-on-5, despite the drop-off in production. Thanks to their league-leading team save percentage, obviously, again, Hellebuyck plays a huge role in that. They have an impressive 93.1% save percentage through the last 10 weeks. They've outscored their opponents 58-42. The 42 goals allowed at 5-on-5 ranks first in the league. The 58 ranks 19th. So, not great. You could make the sustainability argument again here, but even with the narrative about Hellebuyck in the playoffs, he's still a good bet to maintain high level of play. So that 93%, that 930 save percentage, that's still very high, but even if it dips a little bit, he's still an elite number one. Again, I know there's narratives about this guy in the past in the playoffs, but it's just really hard to push back on what he's done this season and what he keeps doing. You know, he's a brilliant, brilliant player. They're scoring less than expected and preventing goals more than expected, so it kind of evens out. Whereas on the Blues side, those numbers are all over the place, right? Their expected analytics versus their actual output. The Jets just kind of even out. Really good defensively, better than expected defensively. Not great offensively, but worse than expected offensively. It just all works out. The important factors in this series, in my opinion, the injuries are really big for both sides. Ehlers and Velarde significantly weaken a Jets offense that was already a little dependent on their power play, and both guys were a part of that, a big part of that. On the other side, the number 2 goal scorer for the Blues is unlikely to see the beginning of the series, as Dylan Holloway, Oilers legend, by the way, is still considered not close by Blues coach Montgomery. Bruins legend, by the way. Pain. Anyway, those offer sheets of the offseason really worked out for the Blues. Good job by them, and the ball's on them to go for it. Good job by them. No, the injuries play a big role, and I don't think they offset completely because I think the Jets rely on their power play a little more than the Blues were relying on Holloway. And again, number 2 goal scorer for them. So it's not a small loss. It's a genuine loss. It's just, I feel like the presence of Ehlers and Velarde would go farther for the Jets. Other important factors here, Hellebuyck versus Binnington. I'm trying not to use the goaltenders for every single one of these series previews as important factors, because obviously they're important. To every single game, the goaltenders are going to play a huge role in the success of the team. But it does feel like every time these guys match up when the lights are brightest, Binnington steals it away. 2019 is a dark thought for Jets fans, as the Blues went on their miracle run starting in Winnipeg. The Four Nations face-off was more of the same, with these goalies dueling at the end and Binner walking away with the gold. No one's arguing that Binnington is a better goalie. No one's making that argument. Blues fans aren't making that argument. But he does seem to win when starting against Hellebuck 200 feet away. When they're looking each other in the eye, the guy just wins. Maybe not in the regular season all that much, but he does win the important games, and that's the concern here. At the end of the day, this comes down to Winnipeg's ability to score without Ehlers and Velarde in the lineup. That's really what it is, right? I'm not saying the Blues have an easy task putting pucks past Helly, but one of those teams is hot in all categories right now, and one of them is in the bottom 10 at putting pucks in the net. And it's not the 8th seed that's struggling there. The defense will be there on both sides. Both of these teams are playing a fantastic structure. Both goaltenders are playing well. But if the Jets get their power play humming again, this series should be theirs for the taking. That's an if, because it's been bad for a long time now. My prediction? I'm genuinely scared for the Jets. I genuinely am. And I hate the Blues. I should hate the Blues. We met them in the finals six years ago. Of course, I'm a Bruins fan. I'm not going to hate the Blues. But I am scared as a neutral fan here. This is the best team the Jets have had in a very long time. The pressure is on in a major way. If they're struggling to put pucks in the net, mixed with Binnington going on one of his stupid heaters in the brightest lights, it just gets dicey. If I'm a Jets fan, I'm actually not super pumped. Like, I'm pumped. Obviously, I'm pumped. With a 1 seed, like, let's go on a run. Let's do this thing. This is the best team we've had in a long time. I hate the injuries, but whatever. But I'm not super pumped to run into literally the hottest team in the league right now. Right? Like, that just sucks. And I'm not one of those people that's like, hey, we need to rework the whole way the playoffs work for it. It just sucks, and it's just bad luck sometimes. It genuinely is just bad luck sometimes. That being said, my prediction, I'm running with the Jets in 6, but if you told me that's wishful thinking, honestly, I'd believe you. I really would. I think the Blues have a lot to offer. I think they have less depth. But at the end of the day, they're super hot. They are scalding hot, even with the few losses at the end of the season. It's just a scary team to play right now. Go Jets, go. Anyway, thanks for joining me for a preview of the Jets Blues. I will have a preview for every single matchup that will come out pretty much the night before the first game. So that's my goal, because I have very little time to put all of these out, and I work a full-time job. Go Bees? That doesn't sound right for this. And cheering for one team over the other seems kind of dirty. Go Jets. Go Jets! And of course, here at the end of the video, I love to give some shout outs to the fantastic high quality inspectors who help support the channel and keep this running. I super appreciate every single one of you, from the role player tier, the top line tier, and of course the all-star tier. We are going to do our shout outs for this top line tier. Thank you so much to Sean Kreider, Michael Kamara, Chris and Erica, Kevin Timperley, Quack and Platypus, JM, Smoke Channels, Shaggy, Adam Ella, Albert Waldron, Negev79, Lola Cattingsworth, EKM Productions, Moonlighter TV, Big Bad Bruin, The Bugman, Jeff with a G, Tommy Braga, Roland22, GD Viperworks, Len Kreutz, Brock Nope, Han Slobo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Brett Arney, Pincent, and Nick Zatrullo. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. Your top line material. But now we got to move on to our all-star tier members, the absolute legends. We have Jacob Pratt, Jake Brower, Dampen, JG's 12, Mark S., Ann Hustis, Tim R., Lorenzo Wood, Penny Pasta, Levi Catalani, Boston Stringler, Bagel, Nightmare Eco, John Kirk, Joel, Stealthy Potato, Hyle E. Coyote, Darren Woodbury, Abraxion, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adrian Winter, Tukton D. Tashi, Bruin Smash, D.A. Kingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Dutes42, and Jeremy. Thank you all for all of the support and love that you are all giving. I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, go Bees!